So there are many questions I ask myself all the time. And here's the main one that I've been asking myself many times over and over. Can we really trust what we see online? Now, most of you might already answer that question and say, hell no. But we're going to take a dive into this because there's some really interesting investigations and studies that they're doing about this. And I wanted to bring it to your attention. So, you know that feeling when you're like on Facebook or on Instagram or any social media and you see like an amazing picture, right? Maybe it's a heartwarming picture of like a 120-year-old grandmother blowing out birthday candles, or a rare vintage car from the 1960s that looks a little strange to be real. You feel something. Maybe you like it. Maybe you want to share it. Maybe you leave a comment. But here's the question. What if that picture never actually happened? What if there's no grandmother that never existed? Or what if that car was never built? Today, we're going to look at 3 eye-opening studies that reveal a truth many of us don't want to hear. Our eyes are no longer enough. Yes, I said it. Our eyes are no longer enough. Even the experts are struggling. So grab whatever you have near you and let's talk about this. So, researchers at the Complutense University of Madrid decided to run a simple test. They showed 2 black and white portraits to 280 people. One was a real photograph by a German photographer named Marco Berger, and the other was created entirely by AI. No camera, no person, no moment captured, just a computer program called Midjourney that painted a realistic face from nothing. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. They split these 280 people into 2 groups. Group 1, they call them the visual literacy group. These were not average scrollers. We're talking the teachers of visual arts. These were teachers who taught graphic designers, and we're talking about people who are professional photographers, people who literally work with images for a living. So these weren't just your average people. Group 2 were just regular folks like you and me, regular people who have no real literary skills when it came to visual imaging, graphic, I am not a professional photographer. I am not a graphic designer, etc., etc. So these 2 groups, right? Remember, there are 2 groups. One, experts in imaging, and the others are regular people like you and me. They were both asked the same question. Which image is AI? What do you think happened? For sure you think the experts got it right, yeah? Well, not really. 52% of the expert group correctly identified the AI image. 52%. That's barely more than half. The regular group, 46% got it right. The difference was only 6 percentage points. 6. That's basically nothing. It means that even if you spent your whole life studying light, shadow, composition, and photography, AI now is so good that you have basically a coin flip chance of being wrong. Dr. Miguel Domingos Rigo, who led the study, wrote something that stopped me in my tracks. He said, and I quote, "Visual literacy is still necessary, but it may be insufficient." Insufficient. That's a big word for saying what we know isn't enough anymore. Think about what that means for a second. We're living in a world where anyone with a phone can create a completely fake image in seconds. The researchers in Madrid demonstrated this themselves. They used free tools like Adobe Firefly and OpenArt AI. They typed in simple sentences like "woman inside a modern building" or "elderly woman celebrating her birthday." 60 seconds later, boom, perfect realistic photo. And here's the scary part. People are using these images to play with our emotions. The researchers found fake Facebook posts that were getting tens of thousands of interactions. One post showed a little girl with a cake saying, "This year she turns 3," and she has a cake, but no friend or no one to greet her. The photo showed a girl who clearly looked older than 3, but at the time of the study, they had over 3,007 interactions and 892 comments, with most people who didn't question it. They just believed it. Why? because we trust our eyes. We always have, but now our eyes are lying to us. Let's switch gears for a second here, because it's just not images you can't trust. It's also the text beneath them, the supposed facts. Meet Andrew Sosa, a researcher who did something interesting. He was writing a paper about AI versus human-created PowerPoint presentations, okay? For his literature review, the part where you summarize what experts have said, he decided to ask ChatGPT for help. Seems smart, right? Save some time. Well, ChatGPT gave him beautiful paragraphs. It cited real-sounding studies. Smith and Johnson, 2019. Jones et al., 2021. Wang and Chen, 2020. It even gave him full references with journal names, page numbers. Everything looked perfect. But Andrew is a careful guy. So he decided to check every single citation's hours of searching. And you know what he found? The researchers were real people. They had written other papers, but the specific articles that ChatGPT cited, they didn't exist. They were completely made up, fabricated. It was like ChatGPT had created a beautiful tapestry of lies woven with some pieces of truth. One citation was for a paper called Perception of AI-Generated Presentations in Business Settings. Again, Andrew asked ChatGPT for the URL, and the AI responded, "I'm sorry, I don't have access to specific URLs." You can access the article through the Journal of Information Systems website. Super helpful, right? Except the article wasn't there because it was never written. So what happened? Did the AI lie? Andrew says that's the wrong question. The AI isn't trying to deceive you. It isn't trying to lie to you. It's doing what it's designed to do. Predict what should come next. It sees patterns. It knows academic papers have citations. So it creates citations that look right. It doesn't understand truth. It understands patterns. It's like a parrot that can recite something that you said, but it has no idea what you mean when you say it. This brings us to a big question. How do we protect ourselves? If we can't trust our eyes and we can't trust the text, what can we do? Jeremy Willingham from Lightstorm Security has some answers. He specializes in detecting AI content, and he says there's no single magic bullet. It's more like being a detective. For written text, he says, AI has some tells. It loves patterns. It often uses 3 adjectives where one would do. It says things like, industry reports suggest, or some people argue. Without naming who exactly, it avoids specifics, and sometimes it just makes up citations like the one we saw with Andrew's research. But here's the twist. Even the tools designed to catch AI, you guessed it, are AI themselves. Sites like Grammarly can analyze writing. Sites like SiteEngine can scan images and give you a percentage, like 99% chance this is AI. But Jeremy warns that these tools are imperfect too. They can flag human written content as AI, especially if you're a non-native English speaker writing very formally. It's like asking a wolf to guard the sheep, using AI to detect AI. So what about images? Jeremy says. Well, AI still struggles with understanding our physical world. It can create a beautiful portrait, but it might give someone 6 fingers if you're not careful, or it might create an object that looks right from one angle but makes no sense in 3D space. The problem is these mistakes are getting rarer and rarer. The AI is learning. But there's one thing that can help: metadata. The data about data. Every digital file has it. When I take a photo with my phone, the metadata records my phone model, the date, the location sometimes, and when AI creates an image, it leaves its own digital fingerprint. Jeremy showed an example where the metadata clearly said software agent name GPT for and digital source type train algorithmic media. So it's like a signature, no? But not everyone leaves it on, and not everyone knows how to check it. So it's helpful, but it's not a solution for everyday scrolling. So what are we really talking about here? What are we doing here? What we're talking about a massive shift or change in how humans understand reality. See, for thousands of years, seeing was believing. A photograph was proof. Your eyes were the most trusted tool you had. But in less than 3 years, AI has changed that forever. The European Union sees the dangers, and in March 2024, they passed AI regulation. I did a podcast about that. The first major law trying to control this technology, it came in force in August 2024. But laws are slow, and AI is fast. Dr. Domingos Rigo's study ends with a call for something bigger than just new laws. He says, we need new education, not just visual literacy, but digital literacy, media literacy, critical thinking. We need to teach people, and I'm quoting, to approach images by conceiving of them as created or used by a messenger, rather than just autonomous documents. What does that mean? It just means that we need to stop looking at images as neutral facts and start asking, who made this? And why? And what do they want me to feel? And what do they want me to do? I know it sounds tiring, exhausting even, but like, we can never relax online again. The thing is that we've adapted before. When Photoshop, remember Photoshop came out, we learned to doubt perfect models on magazine covers. When email scams started, we learned to be suspicious of princes offering millions. And we can adapt again, but we have to start now. So here are 3 things you can do today. First, approach viral images with gentle skepticism. If something makes you feel strong emotionally, like anger, sadness, outrage, pause. That's when we are most vulnerable. Relax. Check the source. Is it a random account with an AI looking image? Then it's a red flag. Secondly, for more information, verify the old-fashioned way. If a post cites a study, search for that study yourself. Don't trust the citation in the image. Andrew Soswa spent hours doing this, and it saved him from spreading a lot of fake research. Thirdly, use detection tools if you can, but don't rely on them completely. Think of them as a second opinion, not a doctor's diagnosis. They can help, but they're not perfect. Remember, the world we're entering is crazy right now. The truth is harder to find out more than ever. Maybe this forces us to be more thoughtful and think more critically. Because remember, AI can mimic patterns, but it can't mimic genuine human interactions, right? You can't replace our connections with other people with AI. You can't build the relationships you have with journalists or newspapers, right? Real researchers who put their names and reputations on the line. The Madrid study found that even experts were fooled, but they were also more cautious. They were more likely to say, I think both might be AI. That caution, that humility is what we need, right? So the next time you're online, if you see something that looks too perfect, too emotional, too designed to make you click, just pause. Take a second. Ask yourself, is this real? And if you're not sure, that's okay. It's 2025. Admitting you don't know might be the best thing you can do. And I hope this podcast helped to help you better understand the technology that we're facing and the changes that are coming. Remember, you can't always trust your eyes. And if you don't know, say you don't know, and it's okay to doubt whether an image is real or not, and try to verify the best way you can. Thank you for listening. I'm Mikael, and this is what I learned today. Bye.